What's up, everybody? Welcome to iOS 3 Raw TV. Tonight's a pretty serious subject, and this is going to be obviously not a fitness video. In 2015, I think it was, I came out and I dropped a video that was something along the lines of my darkest secret. And it was me coming forward about how being sexually assaulted as a child. And I told my story, and it was something that really took weight off my shoulders that I carried with me for 30-something years. Literally, it dragged me down. It was the root of my drug addiction. It was the root of my pain, my anxiety. It was the root of me becoming a bodybuilder because I wanted to become so big and so strong that no one could ever hurt or attack me again. And I remember when I came forward and I spoke about it, that it just relieved this pressure off me. It's like it took like this weight off my shoulders that I've been carrying my whole life, which that's when the real healing started, right? It's when you come to terms with what happened and you work on it. And I couldn't work on it because I was hiding it. And what had happened with, when I was younger and I was assaulted, I went to my parents, and back then when I was little, like 10, 11 years old, like, this was something, like, people didn't talk about. Like, it wasn't out in the open, and it was, like, something that families would be embarrassed of if it ever got out. So I told my parents, and they basically said, we'll handle this. Like, we're going to take care of this. Like, don't say anything about this. Don't tell your grandmother, because it would really upset her. Like, but we're going to take care of this. Like, don't worry. We got this. Like, you okay? And I'm like, I guess so. I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And another word was never said about it. And that led me feel like my parents just let it go. I wasn't worth sticking up for. It was my fault because I was small, I was timid, I was a little kid. I was, maybe I like, because my skin was like, I was a really like small little kid. My skin was super smooth and stuff. Like, maybe I looked like a girl. Like, I started questioning all these things when I was a kid. Like, why would this happen to me? Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck, And eventually I just kind of buried it down real deep, and it was just in the back of my subconscious just fucking working on me. And by the time I was 12 years old, I was already drinking. And I mean binge drinking on the weekends at my friend Andy's house. And this was like, Jack Daniel's beer. It was pretty hardcore. By 13, I'd smoked marijuana for the first time. By 16, I was smoking marijuana, not super regularly, but I was drinking fairly regularly. And whenever I could get marijuana, I would be using it. And I just didn't think much of it, it was something I did, and I basically just kind of maneuvered my way into like party scenes and stuff with older kids and stuff. Because that's what older kids did, they partied. And the pain, the anxiety, the not understanding what I did, how it was my fault, I can't explain to you guys what that feels like, and to carry that for like 30 years, I can't explain to you what that feels like. Probably 28 years, 29 years, something like that, because I was 10 or 11 at the time. Carrying that around for like 28 years, I can't explain to you guys what that feels like having a deep, dark secret you're worried anybody's going to fucking know, but nobody could know, right? Because it was so long ago, and unless I opened my mouth, nobody could know. And it really just almost defined who I was. And now I'm watching these things. I watched this girl, Bella Thorne, which I didn't know anything about this girl, right? I didn't even know who she was. She popped up on social media. I was like, who's this girl? And I watched her speaking about how she was raped and molested from age 6 to 14 when she was working for Disney. And I saw the things about Corey Haim on TV and him speaking up and then him dying of a drug overdose or flu, however he died. But now Corey Feldman is stepping up, and he's going to be releasing a documentary about what really happened to him and Corey when they were kids. He's in hiding right now. It's going to be aired one time, and I'm assuming people are going to copy this thing, and it's going to fucking spread like wildfire, right? Because they're going to make it so, intense that everybody's going to want to watch. And since you can't get it again, everybody's going to spread it because the people that couldn't watch are going to want to see it. And it's going to spread like crazy. And it's really coming to light that, especially after I came out and talked about this, other people came out and talked about it that I knew. There are people that are close to me that have had the same thing happen to them, if not worse than what I had happen to me. I've listened to their stories and I just shake my head and I'm like, how could this have happened to us? Like, how could this have happened on such a wide scale and nobody knew? Nobody knew. We were all walking around with these secrets, looking each other in the eye, not having a fucking clue about the pain in the other person. We were walking around with this as a collective group, hiding it from one another. Why? Why would we do that? Like, if you fucking score the winning basket in a game and fucking at school, you talk about it, right? Your grandfather dies, you talk about it, right? Your mom gets into a car accident, loses a leg, you talk about it, right? We talk about the Ebola virus killing people everywhere. We talk about earthquakes. We talk about serial killers. We talk about mutilation. We talk about everything. But we don't talk about the shit that happened to us. And there's so many of us that it happened to. But now it's like more and more people coming forward in Hollywood. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, you know, that single day that I saw the thing about Bella Thorne, I'm a huge Bella Thorne fan now. I don't know anything about her besides what she's been through. And I don't need to know. To be honest with you, I don't know what she does. If she's an actress, a singer, I don't fucking care. The fact that that she's coming forward talking about this and how she's still broken about it. Like, this stuff doesn't go away. This stuff affects you. If you think that doesn't affect me still to this day, like, the person that assaulted me was a much older family member. We're talking like their 70s or 80s. You don't think that every time I see a 70 or 80-year-old man fucking just walking down the street, I want to get out and just punch him in the fucking face and then fucking hold him down and beat the shit out of him? Because I see my great uncle every time I fucking look at that motherfucker? Of course you do. Like, you do your best to heal and put it in the past and move on and all these types of things that you're supposed to do and how it's supposed to work, but realistically, like, you're always, part of you is damaged. You know what I mean? Like, you never really fully get to be yourself as a kid because you're scared of what's going to happen to you. So the type of adult that you develop into is not who you would have developed into had you not had that happen to you as a kid. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, my great uncle that assaulted me, get ready for this one, was a school bus driver for kids in fucking elementary school and junior high. A bus driver. He was a fucking pedophile that molested and raped children and fucking drove a bus. It's like me being a heroin addict driving a bus full of fucking Vicodins, Percocets, and fucking Oxycontin and fucking heroin every day. Like, I can't even imagine the things that happened that I don't know about because he put himself in that position to be able to do the things that fucking he wanted. I can't even wrap my fucking head around it. And nobody knew. I can't. I can't wrap my head around it. And to think that there are kids out there younger than I was that are being trafficked and sold. And it started out as, when we first started seeing this shit recently, it was like, oh, this is just like some bullshit, right? It's just a more fucking random drama that, you know, this person's saying that because it's a famous person, they're trying to sue them because they want money. And now it's coming out that these actors, actresses, and God knows who else, people that I admired, people that, I shouldn't say admired, people that I watched, have done fucking heinous things. And they're continuing to do it. I mean, it's fucking real. When I hear these people talk and you see the pain in their fucking eyes, you know they're not bullshitting. When that Cabela sat down and fucking talked, I could feel what was coming. I know she's an actor or whatever the fuck she is, a singer or whatever the fuck she is, but you can feel the pain coming from people. Like, you can't make up the shit like that. Like, I don't care who says they've been molested, assaulted, raped, or whatever the case may be. When it happens and it truly happens, there's something that comes out of their fucking voice and the look on their face. You can't recreate that. I don't care how good an act you are. It doesn't fucking matter. And knowing that, you know, the Coreys, like, I would absolutely tell you guys, like, tune into this fucking thing. Like, absolutely tune into this fucking thing to see what's happening. If you don't, I guarantee it's going to be all over the internet before long anyways. Like, once the hammer drops, I think this is going to be it. But I saw this thing tonight, and it was a undercover agent that's going to the Philippines, and they're arresting these women because they're selling their fucking little girls. So they basically lined up this guy to come out there and rape the little girl. And the guy's supposed to pay him. And I'm like, these fucking little kids, I'm just sitting there going, we talk about having a mental health problem in this country. In 2019, it was a big thing. Mental health. Oh my God, mental health, and people have fucking issues, and they're fucked up, and it's a mental health issue. Mental health. I kept hearing mental health. Have you seen these soldiers that come home that have the PTSD and they have mental health concerns? What do you think's happening to a lot of these fucking people that are losing their fucking shit, that have these mental health disorders? Many of them have been fucking raped and fucking molested as kids, and maybe even fucking passed around and shit. Like, that's why these fucking, I'm thinking back now, like River Phoenix, motherfucker was on drugs, died of a fucking drug overdose, right? Like, these people that were kid actors that couldn't get away from fucking drugs. Robert Downey fucking Jr., right? And he's another one. Like, I think, what the fuck happened to him? Right? Was he involved with this shit? Was he a kid when he got involved with this shit? We have Todd Bridges, who was in Different Strokes. Just came out recently. He was in, I watched him when I was a kid on Different Strokes. He was all fucked up on drugs and alcohol and shit. And he was like, look, I was a kid. I was being passed around by these fucking adults. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know anything about sex when I was fucking 9 and 10 years old. I just thought it was something you did. They told me it was normal. Dana Plato played his sister, Kimberly, on the fucking show. She died of an overdose. She was a fucking full-blown drug addict. We already know that Todd Bridges was being fucking passed around. That cute little white girl from the show, you don't think she was being passed around? Like, holy fuck, this has been under, like, people don't get into fucking drugs because they go to school and they learn about fucking history and math and science and they do phys ed and they go, I'd like to grow up to be a junkie one day. I'd like to grow up to make millions of dollars and throw it all away and just be a fucking junkie and just ruin my life. That's what I want to do. That's not what happens. Something happens to someone somewhere. And usually as a child. Sometimes as an adult, but sometimes as a child. You can be an adult and be raped too, and the same thing will happen. But that will cause such deep-seated pain that you don't even realize it's there, and you will fucking medicate yourself to get rid of it as you keep replaying. And the more it happens, the more you replay it, the more you replay it, the more you replay it, the more fucking drugs it takes until you're fucking out of control. That kid that just got arrested from the Mighty Ducks, he was the goalie in the Mighty Ducks, got arrested for meth. You look at this guy, you wouldn't even recognize him from the show to the movie to now. He was a kid actor. What the fuck do you think happened to him to fucking make him wind up like this? Oh, let me get this straight. He became a movie star, got billions of dollars, could do whatever the fuck he want. Of course he has to turn to drugs. No. What the fuck? Look at Michael Jackson. How fucked up he turned out. And then he wound up fucking around with little kids too. Why do you think that shit fucking happened? What do you think happened to him when he was a kid? To become a fucking megastar. He was that cute little fucking kid. The other kids were older, but he was the cute little tiny one. Easily impressionable. Easily manipulated. I don't know, guys. I can't wrap my head around some of this shit. It's just like, the only thing I can hope for is people are saying that this is the Great Awakening. They're saying this is it. Like, all the truth's going to come out. Nothing can be stopped. Everything's going to fucking come to fruition. Everybody's going to see it. I hope to God that's true. I really hope to God that that is true. Because it's 2020. It's not fucking 1954 anymore. The word travels fast on the internet, and people, I feel like, are now speaking up when they never would before because they're not fucking scared anymore. They understand that if they don't speak up and get some fucking justice, they're probably going to wind up fucked up the rest of their lives. They may wind up fucked up the rest of their lives anyways, but you got to at least try to bring the people to justice that have fucked you up. When my great uncle died, my mother was like, okay, well, the funeral service is this day and the burial's on that day, so I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. My mom's like, you're not going? I'm like, no. Matter of fact, I may just go and piss on his fucking grave in front of everybody. Fuck him. Like, that's how mad I was at 18 years old still. It had been fucking 8-9 years since it happened to me. And to this day, I'm not angry anymore. I'm not hurt. I understand what happened, and I understand it wasn't my fault, and I understand he was a sick motherfucker. But I also understand there's a lot of sick motherfuckers out there. There's a lot of kids going through worse than I went through. And that's the solace that I take. That, hey, I went through this, but there's people that went through it for fucking years, over and over and over again. I feel like I got away lucky. Which is the only comfort that I take in it. That I got away lucky, and this is all I had to go through. So, this wasn't a fitness video. This is more just a venting to you guys. And I'd be interested to hear down below what you guys think of what I said, because this is something that's real. And I can't tell you how many people came up to me at expos and whispered in my ear, like, hey, I went through the same thing, man. I went through, they call it, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of abuse, they'd say, because they don't want to say molested. They're embarrassed to say, I'm an abuse survivor. But